Mahmud was a very pious man, but he was not very attractive looking. One day, he was walking along the road, minding his own business, when a lady came up to him and started calling him names and abusing him. This lady kept saying all kinds of nasty things, and Mahmud just listened to her patiently. Finally, when she was finished calling him names and abusing him, Mahmud just greeted her, smiled, and said, "And a nice day to you," and continued on his way. Why did Mahmud, the pious man, behave this way? It is because he knew that everything she said was just a reflection of her own inner self. If you use bad language, you are just making obvious to everybody how far away you really are from Allah, since your words are in reality a reflection of your own inner self. Hazrat Hassan al-Basri once fell sick. His neighbor, an unbeliever, came to pay him a visit. "O Imam," he exclaimed, "I detect a bad smell." The Imam told him it was caused by illness, but the neighbor insisted, "That is not the odor of sickness. It is a lavatory smell. For the love of Allah, tell me what it is." He had not noticed that sewage was leaking from his house into that of the Imam. When the neighbor pressed him, the Imam finally said, "For some months your drain has been seeping through to our side. I tried to fix it, but without success." His neighbor asked why he had not told him before, but the venerable Imam said, "I might have offended you." The unbeliever was so impressed by this ethical refinement that he was ennobled with true faith, for he recognized the Imam's morality as a ray of Islam. Once upon a time, there lived in Basra an old man whose only occupation was caring for and loving his only son, who was a handsome young man. The old man invested all his money on his son's education. The young man went away for a few years and acquired an education at a well-known university under the great scholars of that age. The day had arrived for the son to return from his studies, and the old man waited at the door for his son. When the son came and met his father, the old man looked into his eyes and felt great disappointment. "What have you learnt, my son?" he asked. "I have learnt everything there was to be learnt, father," he said. "But have you learnt what cannot be taught?" asked the father. "Go, my son, and learn what cannot be taught," said the old man. The young man went back to his master and asked him to teach him what cannot be taught. "Go away to the mountains with these 400 sheep and come back when they are 1,000, said the master. The young man went to the mountains and became a shepherd. There for the first time he encountered a silence. He had no one to talk to. The sheep did not understand his language. In his desperation, he would talk to them, but they would look back at him as if to say he was stupid. Slowly but surely he began to forget all his worldly knowledge, his ego, his pride, and he became quiet like the sheep, and great wisdom and humility came to him. At the end of 2 years, when the number of sheep had grown to 1,000, he returned to his master and fell on his feet. "Now you have learned what cannot be taught," said the master. N.B. It is interesting to note that the Nabis of Allah Ta'ala, alayhimus salam, at some time in their lives, generally before nubuwwat, tended to sheep and other such animals.